guys, this is Brandon Chen, aka Inspired Author, and I am a writer for novels, manga, and comics. Today we're going to be talking about a question that a lot of people ask me because they notice that I'm working on a lot of different things, which is why do I, as an author, write multiple projects at once? And this is a really great question. So I think the first thing we need to think about is, hey, how many series am I even working on to begin with? So currently I have Nora, which published last week, which was a web novel. It's actually meant to be a normal novel, but I decided to go with Tapas, which is a web novel platform, as my publisher. Woohoo! So if you want to check that out, check it out. I have the God Game web novel. I also have the God Game web comic. There's also the Bandit King webtoon. There's no novel for that, so it's just a webtoon. I have the Samya manga series and an unnamed project called, never mind. I just realized I can't tell you guys that. So I have some secret stuff on the side that just some secret stuff. I'm also working as a narrative writer / designer on a independent anime styled video game. I'll tell you guys more about that in the future, hopefully. And yeah, I mean, I'm writing for like, let's say 5 or so serialized secret projects. And most of these are actually going to be weekly releases. So that means that they're publishing at the same cadence that you would find for like Shonen Jump, like Naruto and One Piece, that cadence, which is pretty crazy to think about. So why do I do all of these projects? Does it impact my writing and make my work worse by doing so many? We're gonna dive into that, but first, make sure to smash that like button. Smash it. Really helps for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're interested in seeing more of my content, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell noti to make sure you get noties when I post shit. So first, how much money do you think a manga / webtoon author makes in the United States off of just one series? Let me just hit you with the spoiler. It's not enough to justify me jumping ship from like a main job, right? I used to be a finance bro before I became a full-time author. Your competition as an author in the United States is still works from Japan. It's manga from Japan, and not just that, it's, you know, anime and anything that really is a creative medium that competes for people's attention, right? Because everyone's opportunity cost when they could be reading your work is also, hey, I can go read One Piece or I can go read Naruto. Why would I read someone who is an independent or newer author, right? So the competition here is particularly rough. Hell, it's especially rough in the US where manga and webtoons are still like kind of a growing medium in terms of audience and creators. So the first reason I'm doing multiple projects is the most obvious reason, which is money. We need money to live. We're creators. This is a full-time thing. This is no joke. This is a job. So obviously I have to do what I gotta do so I don't end up on the street. The second reason I work on so many different projects is because I'm a writer. I write the webtoons and manga way ahead of art production, and thus I can finish a series and be left with pretty much nothing to do except for give creative direction to the artist that I'm working with as they're working on bringing it to life, right? So the writer always works ahead of the artist by a significant amount. So in that case, I'm pretty much free besides, you know, occasionally telling people to make tweaks or change things to match the vision, right? And so I actually have the time and the, you know, energy to allocate to another written project. So usually what I do is I plan out an entire series before I write it. So for God Game, I mentally understand, for example, how that entire series is going to end, even before I started writing the series. Currently, where we are in the series, we're on episode 8 right now, as of now, and episode 9 is in production. However, I've written scripts up to episode 13, and the novel has enough content for me to pretty much translate to scripts almost instantaneously, all the way up to episode, like, I would say like 30 or 40. So a lot of the work from the written side needed for the God Game serialization is not that intense currently for me. I probably spend more time providing art direction, improving panels, and just managing people than I do actually writing, and that's the sad truth. I could continue writing and get really far ahead of the art, but there's not really a point in doing that. It's a lot easier if you write a little bit ahead of the art, make sure that you're flexible in case you want to change an idea. So writing too far ahead is not a good idea at all. Instead, I decide to just do another project. I do another project, and I do the same thing. I write really far ahead, and I just jump around. And at the end of the day, it's all about your time management. I work every day of the week, the moment I wake up until the moment I go to sleep, which is just the reality of where I am. I'm pretty young, and I just quit my job. This is the beginning of my author career. Some of that time is allocated to social media, making videos like this, just to build my following and get more readers. And some of the time is spent doing business development, and a lot of the time is spent writing too. But it's all possible for me to do all these things because, number 3, writing comics is not as time consuming as art is. Just the fact. If I'm fast, I can write a script for an entire episode in a couple of hours. If it's a novel, maybe it takes a lot longer. Novels are definitely more intensive on a writer because there's not that much art involved. But writing comics is a lot less tedious work for a writer. Instead, it's a lot more work on your brain. You have to be able to imagine the scenes, what they'll look like, what people will say, how the story is going to play out, what angles every single panel is going to be. That takes a lot of brain power. And for some people, it might take them a longer time to be able to write, a chapter for a comic. That's fine. For me, it just takes a couple of hours. And that's not me saying like, wow, I'm super fast, I'm super speedy, I'm like really talented. No, it's just because I've written hundreds of scripts, many of which will never be greenlit for a series, many of which were cast into the void, but I've written hundreds of scripts, so literally writing one of these is like fucking breathing. I've practiced a lot in terms of writing. I've been published for over 7 years and writing for even more than that. I've been writing for most of my life. Most of my existence on this planet, I've been writing. So if you're a really talented artist, you can be fast, but there's still a lot of time-consuming aspects to doing art, especially with regards to manga and comics. And usually that is just a lot of grunt work and you just need a lot of people to help you. That's why, manga artists have assistants to deal with that, the backgrounds and the inking and stuff like that. For writing, it's just like, if your brain is fast, then your writing is pretty fast too. And that's solely for comics, not the same at all for novels. Novels, you have to grind and just pump it out. I mean, you can write novels fast, but different story. And I just want to put as like a side note here, just because you write fast doesn't mean your story is going to be bad. In fact, many novels like Casino Royale, that took the author 2 months. The Boy in Striped Pajamas took the author 2 days to write that. Fahrenheit 451 took 9 days to write. Like, don't assume that if you spend longer on a project that it's going to be better. That's not true. The reality is, someone who wrote a story in 3 days can potentially produce something that is better than someone who took 3 years to work on their own idea. And that's just how it is. It's all about how fast your brain is working. It's about experience, it's about creativity, and partially about being in the zone, how much you're writing at a particular time. Like if you take a break from writing, then usually it's harder to get back into it, Anyway, the final reason I write so many different series at the same time is because of opportunity. I don't know what's going to hit big with my readers. I can bank it all on one series, hope that it becomes the next One Piece, or I could develop multiple series at a time, work a little harder, still produce high quality works across all the different series that we're doing, and potentially one will take off. And here's the thing, some of my works do awesome, some of them don't do so well, but the ones that do well, publisher might see that and they'll come to me with an offer, and I'm like, they're like, hey Brandon, can you work on something with us? Am I going to say no? If a sick opportunity comes to me, and just because I'm working on another series, and technically, like I have free time, am I going to say no to that project? No, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to take the offer because I want to build my brand. I'm young. I want to build my portfolio, and I want to keep using opportunities to climb this author ladder. And eventually, we'll get the next One Piece, and that's fine. And once we get to the One Piece, we can make a series and we can just focus on that series, and that's cool. A lot of mangaka, a lot of authors do multiple projects until they hit the one series that becomes Jujutsu Kaisen, Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball, whatever you have it. And a lot of you guys haven't heard of their previous works. Go do some research. They've done a lot of stuff before they hit the bag. Yeah, so I take the good opportunities as they come. That's why I have so many unannounced projects, and I'm always getting better too. So the newer projects that I end up taking on actually naturally end up better than the older ones, and that's just how it is. For example, my first book that I wrote and published when I was 17 called Age of Darkness, I could not read that. People still like to read it. I personally would not be able to read that just because my writing style has completely transformed since then. So constantly evolving. I think I get better on an annual basis, year over year. You can compare my works and just see transformation. So always looking to take on new projects every single year. and you just get better and keep getting better and keep improving. Anyway, this was a very long video. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it was insightful for your understanding of why it can be sometimes useful to take on multiple series. When I was a kid, I took on so many AP classes and extracurriculars. I had like 50 exams on the same day with all these different ideas and you know, subjects and information. Now, if I could handle that, doing that chaos, taking all these classes with different information from different writers and stuff, I think I can handle doing a few manga and a few webtoon series that I'm the creator, right? It sounds pretty easy in comparison, in my opinion. 24, my brain's still good. Thanks guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and comment what you would like to see next from my longer video series. All right, thanks for watching.